Look, we've made great advances here. I think academically, they're on our side now. I've talked to Michael Woodford a couple of years ago at the Columbia. He's a top guy, and we talked about that. Look, there is no long-term deficit problem apart from inflation. And he didn't even pause 3 seconds and said, "Yes, of course, we're always going to make the payments with crediting accounts." I said, "So, the burden of proof that there's a long-term deficit problem is therefore on on somebody who claims there's a long-term deficit problem is to show that there's a long-term inflation problem, which means showing the Fed, the CBO, and the Treasury securities are wrong." And he completely agreed. He's, leading mainstream economists. So I'm not saying they're all like that, but we're not getting the pushback at the operational level that I got back in 1993, 4 or 5, maybe through 2010. It's just all stopped. And I think that the quantitative easing thing helped a lot. I was saying, I was talking to Japanese central bankers at the Bank of England in the late 90s about why quantitative easing doesn't work, because they were doing it back then. But no one ever, it didn't take hold until the United States, the Fed did it in massive size, and nobody could find a trace of it anywhere in the data, anywhere in the monetary, anywhere. They saw M1 went up, but they saw its Treasury securities went down. They saw it shifted dollars from one account to another. They couldn't find anything in any of the inflation, the output, growth, nothing. Okay, and because it doesn't matter. It has no effect. And so I think that helped get things moving more in our direction. And Stephanie being appointed as a chief economist for the Senate Budget Committee was huge. It was a demonstration of just how far it's gotten. And when Donald Trump a year ago said something about the government can't run out of money or print its own money, USA Today said, a few years ago, they would have said, "Oh, that's what Keynes would have said." They said, "Well, that's what MMT is saying." And they cited like Randy Wray and Stephanie Kelton. So that tells you it's even gotten into the mainstream media, to that